the head coach of the Conneaut Spartans. It is Lexi Zapatelli-Adams.
Oh, we should probably let her in, huh?
Yeah,
there we go. Okay, there we go. Now she's in. Coach,
thank you.
how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No, it's awesome to have you. Obviously, Anthony rolling out the red carpet for you, the YSU red carpet for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your third year as head coach. You said you've been with an assistant for another 2, so 5 years with the program. 2025's here. We were talking about, does it ever get old for you? And you said there's always things changing. What do you see this year in 2025 that's changing for your program?
So for our program, we only have 3 seniors. And these 3 seniors were actually our only juniors last year. So they play a really good leadership role. But with our program, what we're looking for, we're honestly looking to start to rebuild, and those 3 seniors are being able to help in that time. Conneaut just started a middle school club team. So that means our middle school girls are going to be able to play throughout the school year more, which ultimately that's only going to help our high school program. So we've been able to run a lot of clinics for offense and defense. We've even done some pitching clinics. And those 3 seniors have really done a really great job at, helping get those younger girls excited. But I guess almost kind of leaving a legacy I like to talk to them about. This is their last year. There's so many emotions going on with them. They have so many other things going on because graduation is almost a month away. In May, they will graduate. So, and again, like you guys were saying, tomorrow is April 1st. So May is going to be here before any of us know it. So really just those 3 seniors have been doing a great job really trying to help these younger girls get some more skill, enjoy the game more, have some more fun. That way, when they get to the high school level, we're going to be able to compete a little bit more than maybe we did last year, or maybe we might be able to with some teams this year even too.
Coach, now that you're in year 3, it's kind of the year where you can really see the culture that you want into the program start to take hold, and the standard that you want for the program start to really solidify. Talk about that and how much work you've put in the last 3 years to kind of build the culture, and how much you're seeing it this year really stick in this program.
Absolutely. So I know it might sound super cliche, but like the word family is truly so important. I know when I played high school softball at Conneaut, our team felt like a family. We even said that with, our teammates. I think just everybody being able to trust each other on the field during practice. They may not be their best friend outside of softball, but when we're practicing on the field, learning how to be a teammate, and be a close-knit family, that's just going to help them enjoy the game more. And that's even going to help improve how they play on the field during games. A lot of people don't realize it, but since it is a team sport, chemistry is extremely important. If you're not super comfortable, playing next to somebody in the outfield and the infield, it's going to show. So really just doing a lot of things to get the girls comfortable, even if we are not the best team skill-wise, give us that effort. The coaching staff, we've talked to our girls, because some of them play softball as something to do, which is fine. But, we're here trying to build a program. So we tell them, hey, we respect you guys. Some of you guys don't play all year round. You're just doing this as a hobby, something to do, throughout school, which is fine. But, we have to kind of give them our respect about that, because we want them to also respect us we still have expectations though, and we're going to try to make you guys get better. But we're going to try to do it in a fun way too.
Chemistry is important. Obviously, you just alluded to that, but creativity this time of year is incredibly important, because you're dodging raindrops like we talked about earlier. What do you do on days off that we're scheduled to be playing games to keep them not wanting to come back, but kind of keeping their minds into it and not bored at practice?
So that's a really great question, considering today was supposed to be our first game of the season. We were supposed to host Lakeside over in Ashtabula. That game is postponed until Thursday, maybe. We'll see.
Coach, I swear I wasn't on that game. It didn't get canceled.
No. No, it's it's just been raining nonstop up here, out of our control. So that's a really good question, because and even at this point in the season, we haven't even started games yet, but it's just practice, practice, practice. You have to switch up that tempo, because, with any team, they'll get bored. But with our team, especially having some girls who don't necessarily play softball all year round, they're going to get even more bored. So some of the other coaches and we sometimes we'll use our pitching machine. We'll hook it up into the gym as that's the pitcher. And we kind of play like a live game with our lifelike balls. So that's one thing we do. I don't really know if it's for the tennis team, but one of the other sports programs in our storage room, they have like a tennis ball launcher. So we've done some fun drills, pull out that tennis ball launcher, helps our infield react, it's just a fun drill we do. And then even we twist it up and then it gives fly balls to the outfield. They really seemed to enjoy that. We as coaches didn't really know if it would work, but we're like, you know what? Let's just try that. So today we're probably going to have to pull out, our pitching machine, the tennis ball machine, just keeps these girls engaged, because our April calendar is jam packed. So they can't be bored just yet.
Yeah, and to expand on that question, Coach, when you have so many postponements, you're going to be, weeks where you're going to be playing 5-6 games in the span of 6 days. On the opposite side, how do you stay away from a little bit of overuse or maybe, girls getting fatigued or just too much softball in too little time? How do you navigate that too during a season?
Yeah, and that's something it's really hard to do, because if I'm looking at our April schedule right now, there's the week of the 21st. We have four games in a row, back to back to back to back. But then we do have some JV games. So really that day there's schedule. It's all the way through. So we have one senior who's a pitcher. We relied on her pretty heavily last year. We've had a conversation this year with her, some of the other pitchers. We have a junior who's a pitcher. She doesn't have a ton of varsity pitching experience. Same with another sophomore, but we said to them, hey guys, you are going to have to get some experience this year based on how our schedule is. Our senior pitcher, her name is Lexi. She already has some shoulder problems. So taking that in consideration, we can't throw her every game back to back. So it's just kind of being upfront with these girls and letting them know our expectations for them, because just the way our schedule is, Lexi's not going to be able to pitch every single game. So they really have to kind of just step up. They're expected of what, they're going to need to do. They're going to start some games, come in some games. But it's just really important to let them know that we trust them and they need to be confident while doing it, especially those who don't have a ton of varsity pitching experience. Our conference is pretty tough, so it's so easy for some of them to possibly get down on them, but we're just trying to be as positive as we can before we get into it, because I know it's going to be a season that just keeps rolling, very busy.
There are incredible challenges during the season. I think one of the biggest things when you're a competitor such as yourself, who played the game, who knows the game, who just has a great understanding, is trying to translate, right? Not dumb it down necessarily, but translate that knowledge from you to your players. What kind of, games have you had to play with yourself and do those mental gymnastics in order to have them download the info that you're trying to give them?
So if this is answering your question, I'm a very hands-on person.
Okay.
So personally for me, this was me as a player, for me to really understand how this drill works or how I'm going to do that, it always helped me being able to see it. So now, and this is something I'm still, getting used to being on the total opposite side, now the coach's role and not the player. So this is something I'm still, learning all the time. But I've noticed I'm still kind of continuing that. So I know how I learn, hands-on, visual. So a lot of times I just kind of hop right in there and, show them exactly what I'm looking for, how it should look. But also I like to show them how some things should not look, because it's with softball and, a lot of other sports, it's really important that the players can recognize the things that their body, like within mechanics or whatever they're doing for the drill, what they're doing right. But then there's going to be times where it's not going to go right. It's a game of failure. So it's important for me to show them what things should not look like or not feel like. That way during a game, they can kind of self-correct, because I'm not going to be able to have a mic in their ear every single at bat, every pitch, whatever it is, say, no, you have to do this. The game is not the time for that. So just being hands-on and really visual and practice, just kind of showing them, I think definitely helps.
I'm sure there are times you wish you could have a mic in their ear, though.
Oh, they might not, but yeah, no.
Coach, anyone that watched you at YSU knows how aggressive you were on the base pass. How aggressive are you as a coach running? Do you like to send people?
So there's times, because everybody's different. Not everybody may have the same speed that I had. And these girls are younger. Some of them aren't there yet with the IQ. So I have to kind of change my mindset. And it's hard because I am such a competitive person. Like, my drive is full go. So there's times where I'm like, oh yeah, she hit the ball, she's coming to me at third base. But then I'm like holding up my arms like, okay, all right, stay there at second base. All is good. But I think base running is extremely important. With this team that we have this year, we've definitely practiced base running a lot, just because we may not have the best offense. But if we get runners on base, we need to try to be a threat within that area and be aggressive, because all it takes is one big hit to change a score. You know what I mean? Make the ball game more competitive. So that's what I say to our girls a lot of the times. We're working on all those little things, because that's what really will make the difference. So base running is definitely important. And I want to try to get them to have the same mindset that I had as a player.
Who were the coaches that you can recall immediately that stand out in your head? I mean, when we become parents, we all hear our parents come out of of us. Who are some of those coaches that you see so much of in your coaching expertise?
Oh, that's a fun question. When I was younger, my dad would coach me a lot. So sometimes the older I get, I'm like, oh, I'm sounding like my father. That's, when it comes to, I guess he coached me throughout like Little League when I was like 10 years old, before travel ball got super heavy. So there's times where I'm like, oh, I see that coming out of me. But also when I'm watching, sporting events, I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, oh, yikes, there's my father coming out of me. So from college, Coach Campbell, he's actually still coaching at YSU. Him and Coach Z, she was there at YSU when I was playing. She's no longer at YSU. I definitely think the two of them, they just left such a really good impact on me from my time playing at YSU to I kind of look at some of the things that both of them did. Coach Campbell gave me, many steal signs on like the base pass. So with the base running and that aspect, I definitely can kind of use a little bit of what he had done there. He's had a very successful career. I don't even know what he's up to now. I think he's over 600 plus wins at YSU. So it's super awesome to still seeing him do it. And with Coach Z, Sarah Zillis was her name. I feel like all of my hitting knowledge came from her. Growing up, I was a natural good hitter. So a lot of the times, like, nobody wanted to touch my swings. Like in high school, you know what I mean? If it's not broke, don't fix it, which, yes, it's true. So like in high school, even travel ball, like I just naturally could do it. But my mechanics were not as good as until I got to college and was able to work with her. So since she actually really broke down the swing with me, with everybody, every single one of us on our team, that gave me a lot more knowledge, which then it made it super easy for me to be able to teach a girl how to hit a ball. Like, what do we do? This first step, second step, and so on. So definitely that.
Coach, I don't want to let you go without letting you talk about your staff and the people within the administration and community that really help you build this program and have really been by your side for the last 3 years as head coach to make Conneaut softball what you want it to be.
Yeah, so you want me to talk about like my coaching staff, all those people?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a couple assistants. Brianna Oatman is one of my assistants. She coaches first base. She's actually one of my good friends. We played together in high school, so it's really nice to have her alongside by me, helping me coach. Another assistant, his name is Joe Chadwick. He actually was an assistant coach. This is my 10th year since being out of high school. So 10 years ago, he was coaching me. I think he was even coaching a couple years before. So he's been sticking with the program for many years now. So he has a lot of experience with it. So it's really nice being able to have his knowledge and expertise to help me as well. We also have some volunteer coaches. We have Greg Brown and Tony Tadero who are also helping me out this year. Both of them help with, they come at practice. It's so good to be able to have 5 different coaches, especially when we do different stations. You're working with infield, I'll go with outfield, you go with pitchers. So it helps really create an environment where there's not a lot of standing around because we have the help with coaches. And those 2 volunteer assistants, they help with, our keeping score, doing the game changer online. They're really good with the technology where I am not. So that's really, really great to have them help me. Our athletic director is Tony Pathinen. He's taking over this year. It's his first year from Joel Taylor, who has done an excellent job and really has helped me, my first couple years doing this. Tony Passman's doing a great job coming in. He's a lot of help. He was actually my basketball coach in high school, so it's nice having a familiar face there too. And Keith Sherman and all of our maintenance crew for our field, besides today, of course, there's just too much rain to, take care of that, but they actually do a really, really great job of keeping our field ready to play as best as we can when it's not kind of like how it is today and all weekend. So a lot of great support behind me, and I'm really appreciative of them.
All right, last question for you. It's got to be cool. You mentioned, I think 2 or 3 times now that you're an alum of Conneaut. How cool is it to be able to do it for the colors that you were raised up wearing?
It's super special. When I graduated from Conneaut, I didn't even know at first that I wanted to be a teacher. My mom was always a teacher, so everybody's like, oh, you're going to be a teacher too. So I'm like, no, I'm going to do something different. So I didn't really realize that right away. And I didn't realize I wanted to coach. So I never had pictured this. It just kind of fell into place at the right time. And it makes it even more special that this is where I'm able to do this and try to, rebuild a program and hopefully be super successful one day.
Well, we think you're successful already. We're super appreciative of everything all the time you were able to give us today. And, we're so excited to have you guys on YSN. So thank you so much again for the opportunity to speak with you today. Best of luck this year. Hopefully you can dodge some raindrops sometime this week and get some ball games in.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been fun.
You got it, Coach. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Thank you.
You got it.